Okay, it's official, I have absolutely no idea what the hell they're doing with this product. You may have noticed that Curse City has returned. It's a thing again. It hasn't been a thing for quite a while, much like videos on this channel. Sorry about that. For some reason I had a solid week and a half where I just could not record. As in, I tried to record but lost my train of thought, lost focus, got confused as to what I was doing. Not been ideal, not been great. There's some stresses going on in everyday life right now, but it really hammered me hard, and yeah, hopefully we're going to be moving past that now. But I had to have a little discussion about this because I think this might be one of those rare products that Games Workshop has fully set up to be kind of a failure. Because Curse City is now available for the third time in its short, brief life. It died, it was resurrected, it disappeared again, and then it's been brought back for the third time, and it's now on general release. You can buy this now, and it will not disappear suddenly with no warning, allegedly. And we still have no idea why it vanished in the first place. I also really don't understand why it had that limited time release a few months ago and is now just available forever. I've no idea what happened with any of that because, unlike with the Leagues of Votan, Games Workshop has deemed themselves not willing to clarify what the hell is going on with this incredibly weird product that they now sell. So the thing is, this is now available for general release, it is now available for purchase. You can buy Curse City finally if you want, if you haven't been completely soured and turned off the idea of buying it by all the shenanigans that have gone on before, which I only mention because I know quite a few people personally who are like, well, I never got a chance the first time, I missed it when they re-released it the second time, and now it's out for the third time. I just really can't be bothered. I just don't want it now. And to be honest, I totally get that. If I looked at a product that a company had gone back and forth on this much, I would probably have reservations myself. I'd probably look at it and go, okay, but what the hell are you even doing with this anyway? Like, is this something I want to invest in? I mean, you'll get the game, you'll get the models. It's not like you end up with nothing for your money, and it's still 125 quid, so it's the same as it was before. But there's definitely that feel of, do I want this thing that the company themselves don't seem to be able to decide whether they want or not? I get it. I absolutely get it. And honestly, it's not helped by the fact that now there are expansions available, and they're just not the expansions that I think any of us thought they would be. So this is Cursed City Night Wars, and it's an expansion for Cursed City, and it's all the paper and cardboard that you could need to play it, and none of the models, which makes it a complete departure from how they did all of Blackstone Fortress's expansions. This is yet another case of just a weird choice that seems to have had no explanation whatsoever. Now technically, this is kind of a good thing, because it's 30 quid, and it's 30 quid but with no models. So if you've already got these models, then you're grand. You don't need to buy them again. You don't need to find some way of getting hold of the rules and stuff off eBay from people breaking the boxes down. You don't need to do any of that because it's just the paper components and that's all it is. For some, that is a good deal and that's a good approach. For others, it's not, especially if you're used to the Blackstone Fortress model, which it was kind of laid out as being that's how things go. And then suddenly things are different. Things have changed. Things aren't what they were supposed to be in the first place, or at least that's how it's perceived by quite a lot of people. And again, I totally get that. See, with the Blackstone Fortress expansions, each one had its own little theme and it had its own set of models and its own little rules, and it was a nice self-contained product. You buy that, you've got everything you need to use it. This is not the case. This is an expansion that's got 5 different things in it, and none of the models for it. You have to buy all of those separately. Now, if you wanted to do this expansion in its entirety, you would need to spend, well, you'd need Radakar the Beast, which I believe is £30, £35. Each of the vampires is like 25 quid, and then there's the bats as well, which I believe are 27. So you're looking at a significant chunk of change, pretty much the cost of Curse City, in fact more than Curse City, to play this expansion along with it. That's a weird choice. That's a very weird choice. It's very different to what we're used to for Warhammer Quest, and it's come off the back of this being an expansion for a product that has had an inexplicably weird release when you look at the overall timeline of it. Now, I think that actually, if they'd have said when Curse City was announced that the expansions would be model-less, that you would just have the rules for them, and those models would be on general release, and so you could use them, or if you wanted to kit bash your own, or if you already own certain models, you could use those as proxy. I don't think this would be as weird. The problem is that this is a different approach to what we're used to for Warhammer Quest, and it's attached to the game that's had the most weirdly troubled launch that Games Workshop have done. Those things combined make me genuinely feel that this overall is not going to be the most reliable of products, right? This makes it feel like they had to do something with the models that they had, that they needed to release them, that they shoved them out before this expansion was available because Curse City wasn't available, and so now we have this weird half compromise. The thing is, that might not even be true. That might not be the case at all. It could well be that this was always the plan. This was always what they were going to do with Curse City, with this expansion, and that these models were always going to be part of the Soulblight Gravelord release, and that that's just how it was. The problem is that it doesn't feel like that. Public perception is a big part of this sort of thing, and the overall perception of Curse City is not actually that favourable at this point. And so when you see something like this, something that doesn't have the models, that is a departure from what we're used to, instead of immediately going to the positives, the immediate thought is, well, is this just a stopgap? Is this something they've done purely because the initial product had such a catastrophic beginning? Is this just because they should have saved the models but then they didn't? There are more questions than answers when it comes to this, and Curse City as a whole, and that kind of makes me feel like although people are happy that this is out and this is available, it's probably not been received as well as it could have been. It's also not lost on me, by the way, that Warhammer Quest Curse City Night Wars is no longer available on the web store, so that's a very interesting and fun little thing to note there. Whether that means it's gone for a bit until it's printed again, I don't know. I would have thought that this would be permanently available, but I could be wrong. When it comes to Curse City, you have no idea whether the product's going to stick around or not, do you? I would be absolutely fascinated to find out whether Curse City is doing well. I would be really, really fascinated to know what sort of reaction they've had to the general release of it. You know, how many they sold when they did that kind of made-to-order window a while back. Whether this is actually a popular product for them, or whether it has been well and truly laid to rest just by the complete uncertainty and bizarre timeline that it's had since it was first announced. I think to come back strong, to really hammer home that this is going to be a product that is available for a while and is supported and is something that the company is super keen to get in the hands of hobbyists, I think the first expansion needed to be something big and grand and impressive, something that really got your attention, something that provided something akin to the actual Curse City release itself. Some models, some tiles, something that could really, really push this as being, well, the next Blackstone Fortress. The problem is we didn't get that, and I don't know if that reflects all that well on Curse City as a whole. Question is, have you picked up Curse City, and have you picked up the expansion? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all the stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you'd like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.